Good afternoon, Cryptoverse. This is Ken Adams coming to you with another elevator pitch. Today I have George Lovegrove. So George came on board well before Fund 3, got involved in Fund 3, learned a lot with that, took a little pause through Fund 4, and then had the opportunity to learn, grow, and really refine. He has got 4 separate proposals, not just him, but Jacob on his team and on his crew are put together a fantastic array of proposals that are going to help us out. I have my full support, and that says something because technically we're competitors in the same catalyst value onboarding segment. But if I don't get funded, I really need to see him get funded because I want to use the tool that he has. I want to use it so much that in this video, you're going to see that I sign up for it. I get in there, and I want to see you guys do that too. So not only by the end of this video are you going to click the like button, check the subscribe button if you haven't, get over to George's site, get on board, figure out, get involved with this, because this collaboration list is something that answers what I've been looking for since my beginning. And in the late January, early February and March, when I started learning about Project Catalyst, I started learning about cryptocurrency. This helps you. So I'm going to let George introduce himself. I'm gonna let him pitch his plan and what's going on, and you get to watch me, who doesn't really know very much, learn a heck of a lot in the next few minutes.
Hey, yes. So I'm George. I've been a developer. I've been involved in Catalyst from around Fund 2 to Fund 3. That's when I did my first proposal. It was in that proposal I kind of learned about where we are in the market, where self-sovereign identity is, and a lot of different technologies. And it was from that experience I realized there's a massive need for improvements in Catalyst. And that's what kind of led me down this path to these proposals I've made and the work that we've been doing so far. Since starting the proposals, I've teamed up with Jacob, who many people would have already met. He's on holiday at the moment, luckily, but I'm here to pass on the message as I can. And we've both been working on all these 4 resources, trying to get everything across the line that we can.
That's awesome, George. So why don't you just pitch me on this, on what you have put together for Fund 5?
Yeah, so for Fund 5, we have 4 different proposals. In the beginning, we kind of listed out all of the kind of different problems that is in Catalyst and trying to kind of settle on what are the things we could kind of make to help, alleviate some of those problems. The 4 we kind of came down to was a community list, which is kind of like a list of everyone in the community, their kind of services and skills, some links to where you can find them. So when you're about to make a proposal, or even whilst you're making a proposal, you can find people who are relevant that might be able to join your proposal, and you can kind of join forces.
Okay.
The next one was to do education and calendar and bringing together all the information. One of the key kind of problems I kind of saw when I was doing the process is it's kind of very sparse kind of where the documents are, how it gets updated, and easily kind of working out who does what, how it all works, and bringing that all together and kind of thinking of what's kind of like the best way to categorize this, improve it, present it in calendars was kind of the body of that kind of proposal.
Okay.
And then the next ones are all about proposals. So the first one was kind of looking at how can we make it easier to like kind of track proposals and look at the tagging, improve that, flesh out the information that we have on those that is in ideas, and make it more easily accessible through an API, through an easy kind of visual, so you can filter by, let's say, I want to see all the DeFi projects very easily. Okay. And then the final proposal was project tracking. So project tracking was looking at, okay, I've just got funded, great. But now it'd be great for me to have an easy way for me to communicate and share my 2-week and have a log of that kind of 2-week progress report so everyone can see. Because at the moment in the town halls, it's very, very difficult for them to show everyone's proposal updates on, that's kind of basis. So having tools to kind of help alleviate that process and make it much simpler and more streamlined would be great for the community, because they can focus on the updates for the proposals that matter to them, and get involved or help wherever is needed once they kind of see that collation of logs.
Okay.
And that's been the bulk of them. There's been plenty of work to look into, and so far we've been pushing on all of them up until the points we either get blocked or working with the community. And again, I can obviously go through each of them, and each of them have their own issues and where they are right now.
You took the time to jump on board right away in Fund 3, and I'm assuming you didn't get funded because I don't see you as a cohort for it, but you've learned from that experience, right? And you took that long break through the Fund 4, and they idea scale, everybody made it a little longer. And then you got yourself into Fund 5 now that you're really dialed in. So that's really good news. So you're kind of that role model person that started and then pushed through and persevered and took the time to learn and focus on what you're putting together here in Fund 5, right? So
it was definitely a mixture of learnings of both the Catalyst system and then my obviously own kind of core focus. And actually, there's a big link between what I'm doing now and what I was working on. Is that it was very reputation and professional based, and Catalyst kind of moves into that because reputation is really important, and how we bring an identity is kind of a key stepping stone. So the success of working on Catalyst and helping this actually can bring me to my original ideas on how we can bring back identity and reputation for professionals and how we work with each other. So that's why it's super exciting to work on this, because it's a stepping stone for the greater things. And whether it unlocks me or someone else, it's all for the greater good of the Cardano community and just, self-sovereign identity and the whole ecosystem in general. So
calendar then?
Yeah. So initially on the calendar, it'd be more on the fund information. So seeing when the next funds are coming out, where we are in the fund. It's been more on the fund side of the calendar. I'm interested in how we can go into more general calendar, and there's conversation in the community and how we might do that. There's some ways, for instance, the DIF, Decentralized Identity Foundation, do this, and they just have like kind of a shared Gmail address that you can just subscribe to, and it adds all of their events onto your kind of calendar, so you can see them really easily. That's kind of something we've talked about in the community as a suggestion as to how that might, we might kind of take that forward. But that at the moment is early days. But that kind of side is coming. I think it can be more of a communal effort and finding the right open source tools so the right people can add their stuff to it and edit it and maintain it. But that's that one is an ongoing discussion. The fund calendar side is more just having easy enough access to all of the data to the funding process, the dates associated to each one, and how they get updated. So it requires a very close contact with IOG and making sure that system is at play.
Yep. So you'll probably work with the project managers like Dor and also Daniel, those guys that if you're a funded project, it's not just, hey, there's George is out there, he wants me to give him more information. No, here's a cohort that is managing a project that's one central place for all the current calendar. So cool. That's great.
Exactly. We've already actually got some progress on that. There is already a kind of initiative started by AdaGov with the calendar and kind of formalizing their data. So I've already been working with both Ro from AdaGov and Marek to kind of bring some of those things together. So we're already sharing the calendar that I'm using is using the same backend, Airtable, which is Airtable that Ro is created. So we're already kind of Marek's then using that to update it, and we're kind of sharing that responsibility. So that was a great first version where we just kind of collaborated as a community to kind of share the same resource. Marek can maintain that use from IOG, and then we can all consume it. So that's like a good example of trying to reduce these duplicated efforts, because people have different ideas and approach things differently, but there's a lot of times where you can share the same thing, which is great.
Excellent. Okay. And then the proposals and project tracking, I kind of see those as two of the same thing, but it's really separate, right? You have on the proposal side, that is to help build proposals, so that when I show up or somebody new shows up and says, hey, I want to do a proposal, they can work through this project. Or am I missing the point on that? Where are you at with the proposal?
Exactly. So that's the kind of separation of kind of like, that's why we kind of kept the proposal separate, because if people said these two are great, but these two are bad, then fantastic. That's absolutely fine. Then we have feedback we can improve. So instead of being like, here's loads of ideas and it's all or nothing, it made sense to separate them out and say, here's different ideas. We can explain them. What's the problem? What we're trying to solve? And it made it much easier to kind of get that kind of more granular feedback. So that's the reason why I kind of separate it out rather than being like, we're like a Project Catalyst massive site. So the key difference is, I think the API for the proposal information is going to be fundamental. And as a great example, the voter tool that Lucio and Victor made, perfect kind of example of where they kind of took it from a spreadsheet initially, which is very manual, but in the future, it'd be great for them to have an API where they could take out all this kind of data from IdeaScale, but it's also enriched with, the fund results data. And then it's got better tagging, because it's the Wild West in IdeaScale for tagging. Anyone could add anything. Whereas if we kind of formulate and have it more opinionated on the tags, they can be much more refined, so they're more useful. So for instance, a voter tool could be like, I want to see all of the DeFi projects. And then they can see all the DeFi projects from Fund 1 straight through to this. And that's a really useful tool, because then you can focus on, I'm voting for, a DEX, and I want to see all the different DEXs that have already been funded. So this kind of API layer and enriching it with more data is super important for us. And it's something I'm pushing a lot on, trying to get access to the IdeaScale API. And it's one of these blockers we've had to get that across the line. So then, the voter tool, these different tools all have access to this kind of the basic data, IdeaScale, and then the enriched data, where we kind of help to improve it, standardize it, and really kind of make a better kind of analytical experience for each of the kind of dev teams trying different things.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question that for my viewers, not me, but definitely me. What is an API and the heck are we talking
Yeah, am I going to be the best person to do technical kind of breakdowns? So you have, imagine your mobile and your web client. For them to access data, such as your user data on Facebook, they're going to request that data from a server that's not on your device. The data is not stored on your local devices.
Okay.
So that for that server, that API, that is how the API is how it kind of accesses that data.
Okay.
So for the context of the Catalyst community, we're creating API. So these front end tools like the voter tool, the Project Catalyst community site, or the landing page Phil's made, any of the different websites that, or devices, any of those services can access that same kind of data source.
Okay.
That's a fairly
good way to
hopefully
say it.
Easy kind of way to say it. But
well, I think that finally made the connection for me. Honestly, because this is a global community, there's a global language that is there, and everyone's accepting API as a thing. SQL Server is something I'm familiar with in my world, where with access control and security, as data goes into and through one program, I have another program that filters that data in a way that I want to use it. So if I say, I want to know everybody that walked through this particular door between these two dates and times, I can't do that from my access control system itself. I have to use a separate program that aggregates data from one to the other. And that's where that server is. So that's what the API is kind of doing as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you can have APIs between software and software. It's like, it's just exposing, this is how you interact with me. And then in most cases, when people think about APIs, they're thinking of this kind of front to back, this mobile and all these clients that we use to interact at the back. And that's kind of what most people are thinking of, but it means it could be used in more context, but generally API. So accessing how you interact with things.
Yeah. It takes a long time to, one, as an outsider, come in and learn what Discord is, learn that there is a Telegram, find out that there's even a Twitter or all these other things, and to try and integrate with the community and become a community member. I've got a lifetime career of all these things that I do. I want to provide my service to this community, but I also need to find people. So the community tool that you have, it's functional right now. It's already out there and running, and you want to make it better. But it sounds like your biggest thing is to find users, right? Like you need to get people in.
Absolutely. So
can I join you right now? You want to
just do it? Absolutely. Let's get in there. Cool. Let's get in there. There we go. There's two of mine.
Site improvement or education resources. I recognize that one.
Yeah, it's a community list one here somewhere.
Hold on a second. We're competitors in the same funding. We're done. We're out. Is that in value onboarding or is that in a different?
It's on proposal outreach, the community list one.
Okay. So we're not competitors then. All right, I'm in. I'll vote for you now.
Yeah.
All right. Cattle site collaborators list.
Hey.
There we go.
So yeah, it was actually renamed from collaborators to community list on the site. Because community was just a better term, better name. But when we first made it, collaborators was, that was initially what it made sense. But
so new to project. So where am I going to go? So this is Project Catalyst. We're in a series of experiments with seats. Okay, and I know that speech. Oh crap! What happened there? Welcome to Cardani. Oh, welcome Cardani, not welcome to. I am a Cardanian. Awesome. I now have a name. So here's my name so it already generated this as Ken Adams Q. Did that pull straight from my Discord?
Yeah. So whichever, if you logged in from Discord, it just pull in what the name it has from there and it's going to auto populate it. So you can use that, but it won't accept the brackets, the parentheses there. So those would need to be removed for now. I might add in the future, so you could add like pool IDs. So then it kind of adds that, so it's separated the data. So then you can kind of specify your pool ID, and then you could potentially click on it, and it just automatically goes to that on, let's say, Ada Pools or another one of the pool search tools. So that's an instant idea for improvement.
Cool. All right. So my discord.com, and that is my name. So that was what you're saying, is that you need at least one account, but I can have all of these accounts filled in if I have a new Twitter account. I have exactly 3 followers. So everything I put on there is seen by people who probably don't even know they're following me.
But they deserve to see it.
Yeah. So Telegram is also there. And I can come back in and update this, right? But this will just get us going.
Absolutely. You can keep changing it. Absolutely. At the moment, we're not doing it. You could do You could do an improvement to this where you kind of do this kind of verification process.
Okay.
That's something to look in the future. At the moment, with the size it is, I think it's, manually you can add it yourself, and it not being verified is okay.
Well, profile, there it is. Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna add this in the week. I think that this is live feedback, and
hit paste.
So that's now copied.
So click on the name. Gotcha.
Okay, and that has Control A. Is that got? Yeah. Did you remove the previous? Yeah, that'll be correct.
Yep. Okay, cool. Top down. I had to take the parentheses out because it won't accept that. I've set up 2 of my accounts, both my Twitter account and my Discord account, and I'm going to do a little shameless self-promoting. You all know what my Twitter handle is now. I put out the most important, relevant content on the planet next to George, and get on there. Be one of the first. You could be the 4th follower if you wanted to. It's that new. All right, and there's my Discord. All right,
we get you up to 100 first, then we get the community list up to 100. You first, then I like that. We can do that.
Cool.
Yours is gonna be a lot easier than mine. I think it's gonna be much easier.
All right, so as a community advisor, I have done that. I still have that role. Stake pool operator, not yet, but there's my other shameless plug. Pretty soon.
It looks like you're close. Yeah, it looks like you're thinking of it.
Community participation. I am definitely available for collaboration. And then this is where I get to start picking apart what I am, who I am, and
exactly that. Yeah.
So
what is it you do day to day?
Video production. So the X is going to take it away. The plus adds it. If it's highlighted, it's me. Cool.
Yeah. So these are kind of things that you could be experienced in. We're not doing anything like levels, like, I'm the, best UI designer in the world or junior. It's just kind of, it's indicating on the areas that you focus on.
Like I just clicked on SEO marketing. I'm still learning SEO marketing. I want to know more. Since I'm still learning it, and actually one of my books right there is SEO marketing, but I haven't read the whole thing. I skimmed through it. I should probably not click that because I am not an SEO marketer yet. I'm learning that. I'm trying to do it, but this is going to aggregate a list of people who are doing the thing I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for a web development person, because my website, KEWW.io, is just a picture with a countdown timer that already hit 0. So if I use your community and I can use that web development person, now I know I found somebody who's crypto friendly. I found somebody who is Cardano friendly, Project Catalyst friendly, and they do web development. And if they click that they're available for collaboration, they've hit all my marks. I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, I need a web developer. I see that you're doing it and you understand crypto. We're there, right? Exactly. That's how beautiful I see this. Okay, cool.
And it's also not really damaging if someone is just interested in doing that service or skill, because you'll have the context of the other things they said and you'll be able to reach out to them. So the main thing is you've really kind of refined that list to find only the people that matter. And it's just a much quicker process to get to that kind of point of talking about, I know you're looking to collaborate and you're interested in this thing. Where are you with that skill set? Are you just really keen and you've got a lot of time? Maybe that's something what people want. Maybe they do want someone who's just, knows and only knows a little bit of SEO, but they've got loads of hours to spare, and they can learn whilst they go. Maybe that's absolutely fine. We're not trying to kind of dictate how people should use it too much at the moment.
Okay.
It's just like a simple, easy way to kind of take down a massive list of people who are interested to collaborate as Project Catalyst grows, and just make it a lot smaller. So I can at least be like, here are the groups of people that I can reach out to that makes sense, that, it's going to be much, much quicker.
I just signed in. Did I have to sign in so that I can use the resource, or could somebody come in as a guest user?
Yeah, so you don't have to be logged in. You can still see the community list as well, whether you're logged in or not. It's just whether you want to add yourself to the community list. Like if you want to add yourself to the community list, that's why you'd sign up.
Okay.
If not, you have access to all the information, whether it's just kind of overview information, the calendar information, or the resources, or the community list. Like you don't need to have signed up to do that. I think it's completely optional, completely open.
Okay.
And as things move on and we get things like proposal information in, that's where you'd have another reason to sign up. You'd be like, I'm a proposer. I want to refine and add maybe media content to my proposal that's been like an interview or an update or these kind of information. Those proposers would then have a reason to log in, add that information.
This is really cool. I'm glad to see this out. I'm going to bounce over back to, there's your proposal. The community list seems really important to me because whether we have a lot of people are building the DIDs, right? The digital identification or decentralized, however, I don't even know what that acronym fully stands for yet, but having a way to prove who I am when I show up through the door it's hard, and this might help solve that problem. How do we get a hold of you and Jacob also? I know it's you and I talking, but Jacob's out there on your team.
Yeah, so we're really definitely always involved in the Catalyst Swarm. There's a Discord community for the Catalyst. Yep. Discord's a lot of the places where there's different communities, and we're kind of chatting on there. So I think that's probably one of the best places to find us. Okay. We could attach both of our usernames on that, or you also find us within the community under Project Catalyst community site under, I think it's Fund 5 value onboarding in the community server.
Fantastic. This is some excellent information. There's 4 proposals out there that all have an equal amount of impact on the community. I think you're delivering a lot to everybody. We know how to get a hold of you now. I'll make sure I do that. Is there anything else that you need, want, or can possibly have from us?
Yeah, I guess the main thing is just to reach out, like find me on Discord, find Jake on Discord, find anyone in the community on Discord. There's whether it's, feedback on what we've got or someone else. There's loads to get involved with. There's lots of things going on behind the scenes, and everyone's kind of trying different things and all kind of like working as a community to try and build those blocks and take us to the next level. So that'd be my main kind of like call to action for people. It's just like just get involved, and if you've got something you'd like to say could be better on my site or anyone else at all, go for it. And more than welcome.
Awesome. Just this is across the Atlantic high five. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Again.
Got it.